Okay, so chapter 2 is like an overview of entire Gita. We gave an acronym Gita. Now in this chapter, Arjuna's confusion was resolved. Arjuna, after giving a lot of instructions on how to perfect one's life in chapter 2, the identity of the jiva and renunciation, all these concepts are discussed. Naturally, Arjuna heard all of that, but he had certain inclination from before. He wanted to give up the fight. That was his inclination. That's the reason the lot of discussion of chapter 2 happened. And at some point, Krishna says, Durena hi avaram karma, that verse, right? So in that, Krishna says, keep away all abominable work and focus on Krishna consciousness. So Arjuna misunderstands that. Arjuna thinks fighting is the one he has to give up. But what Krishna meant in that is to keep away, to stay away from duty is actually the wrong work for Arjuna because he is a Kshatriya. Because of that misunderstanding, Arjuna wants to clarify what exactly Krishna wants. So that's the beginning of chapter 3. So this week we'll focus on overall theme where we will understand the overall flow of the topic. We will not go into verses. That way we'll get the theme idea completely cleared. Okay. So there was a material that Radheshyam Prabhu forwarded me, which I'm trying to use. Karma Yoga can be best understood with the example of a tree. All of us have seen trees. Can anybody tell me what is great about a tree?
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. One thing that I could think of is a tree comes out of a very small seed. That we cannot conceive, how a tree is inside that thing. And tree is also very tolerant and always serving others.
That's true. That's true. Even if one cuts the branches, it does not, it does not stop serving them. It still gives the shade under, somebody takes rest after cutting the tree. He wants to take rest. Still, it allows them to rest underneath. And what else? It is very tolerant. Anything else that we can learn from the tree?
The roots are strong, Prabhuji.
Roots are strong, yes.
It provides fruits to everyone.
Very good point, Sharman Prabhu. It gives fruits without discrimination. It produces fruits, but it does not get attached to it. Whoever wants, how much ever he wants, tree happily shares all its fruits to the betterment of everybody else. It does not keep it to itself. So this is a principle of Karma Yoga. All these are principles of Karma Yoga. Tolerance, non-possessiveness. What else can we learn from a tree? Anything else? Even if you cut its branches.
Scientifically, Prabhu, it takes carbon dioxide and gives oxygen, right? So that is also.
Yeah, that helps sustain other life. Yes.
Yeah.
What else? Even if we cut its branches, right? What does it do? If you cut its branches,
it regrows again.
Yes. So it is not disturbed or it's not cringe just because it was cut once. It is enthusiastic to again reflourish itself. That's another great attribute of a tree. Is that right? So these are all characteristics of a karma yogi. Now let's discuss what is here. I think we covered all of them, just to be sure. Tree gives many fruits and selflessly offers them. It dutifully offers shade and shelter regardless of mistreatment by man or animal. Even if it is cut, it grows back with determination and strength, ready to serve the world again. And so in this way, a tree gives profound insight into art of living in this world. Hmm? All of us will go through a lot of challenges in life, like the tree gets cut. We should not cringe us down. With determination and strength, we should again be ready to serve. Hmm? And some people mistreat us. Should we, uh, should we abandon them? We should have revenge upon them? No. We should be. We should not be bothered in our performance of duty. We should continue to perform our duties and offer them the service that they need. Similarly, all the you know things that were given to us by God, we should actually offer them selflessly back to God Himself. So these are all the characteristics of a tree. These are also life lessons for all of us, isn't it? So yeah, this is actually art of living in this world. So chapter 3 actually defines karma yoga, which is basically through our daily work how we can connect with God. All of us, especially, we all perform our daily work, whether it is for office or at home. How, while doing our duties, we can spiritualize our life, right? So this statement is not just unique to Bhagavad Gita. Even Bible also says, "Be in the world, but not of it." Be in the world, right? Perform your duties in the world like a person in the world, but not of it. Means don't be worldly. Worldly means avoiding the principles that we discussed above, right? Being possessive, uh, uh, being going into depression if you are facing challenges in life. So those are all worldly characteristics. So the word tree has 4 letters, right? So this chapter 3 actually can be understood with this acronym tree, where T stands for Tyaga, renunciation. We'll understand what that means. So the first 10 verses actually describe Tyaga. And then R stands for rungs, the yoga ladder. Krishna explains the yoga ladder from verse 11 onwards. And then how to stay in this world but not of this world, by setting a good example for everybody to follow. We need people who are like karma yogis in this world, that is exemplary. And finally, one has to understand, after understanding the rungs and after getting motivated uh, by becoming an exemplary person, one has to first, to achieve all of this, one has to understand what is the real enemy of the soul. That is the enemy of the soul, lust, is described in the last verses. So this is the overall theme of the chapter. Okay, what is T? T for
Tyaga,
Tyaga. R
renunciation.
for
Rungs
ranks of the yoga ladder. E for exemplary. And E for enemy of the soul. Towards the end, I'll ask again. Okay, don't forget. If anybody asks, what is chapter 3? Tree. Yeah. So the chapter begins with the confusion of Arjuna. Just like any immature spiritualist who just begins practicing spiritual life, Arjuna gets this confusion after hearing from Krishna about, you know, about um, about what is that last section of second chapter? About a, what is the word, I forgot.
Chita Prajna.
Sthitaprajna, yeah.
Yeah.
After hearing the characteristics of a Sthitaprajna, Arjuna gets motivated to become a renunciate instead of a dutiful fighter. That's where the problem begins. So Arjuna understands that retirement from active life is the way of spiritual life. Um, it's not about working in this world. He wants to adopt to asceticism in strict seclusion. He wants to go to forest, giving up his duty. This is actually how many people in challenging times try to act. Right? When challenge comes, what do? There are two ways we respond. One is flight or run away. The other is fight. Fight or flight. This is our emotional response to any challenge in life, isn't it? And what did Arjuna try to choose? What did Arjuna choose?
Flight.
Yeah,
Light.
he wants to actually run away. He wants to flight. Yeah, he wants to escape from the situation. Yeah. Similarly, worldly life makes us deal with career, people, money, positions, name, fame, right? Challenging people, all these, you know, there are a lot of awkward dealings in this, isn't it? All of us have experience with our managers, with our, colleagues, or with our family members at job, various ways. So it's very awkward. A lot of awkward dealings happen. How can es- uh, how can we make our life in all these situations compatible with spiritual goals? Right. This is the missing piece in the understanding of Arjuna. He doesn't know. He is put in this war. He feels renouncing the war is the right way after hearing second chapter. After hearing about Sthita Prajna, he thinks maybe I should just run away. No? Renunciation is the better option. And renunciation, he meant giving up his duty. But what will come from Krishna? Just anybody guess what would be the answer of Krishna?
Krishna asked, I mean, he said, where did this Kashmalam come from?
Yeah, that he asked. But what?
But you running away from the duty also sinful. It's inaction. It's attachment to not doing the duty.
Yes, yeah.
Infamy is worse than, for a Kshatriya, so you should fight
Infamy is worse.
than death.
Worse than death. Yeah, yep. So what is Krishna's response? Krishna clarifies what is the meaning of renunciation. He says renunciation is not about giving up the worldly duties. Many people think, even they blame devotees of Krishna as being the escapists, as if they actually completely uh, abandoning their duties. Okay, so Krishna clarifies Arjuna, you are a Kshatriya. Your true renunciation does not mean you abandon your duty of a warrior. Okay, true renunciation is actually giving up the mentality of the controller and enjoyer of the deeds we perform, isn't it? That's where the problem comes, right? If you perform your work, you get some results, and what is your understanding right after you get the result? You are the enjoyer, you are the entitled to enjoy the fruits of that action, and you are the person to be in control of the situation, isn't it? These are the two main stake problems with anybody who does any work or achieve something in this world, isn't it? They want to be the controller, They want to be the enjoyer. Hmm? And true renunciation is not to give up the duty, but to give up this mentality of being the enjoyer and the controller of one's actions. Okay? So, what exactly Krishna did? He clarified the meaning of renunciation. So, how we can do it in this world, right? All of us perform our prescribed duties for our family, for office. We perform our daily work, and as part of that, we get money, we get knowledge, we get name, fame, influence. All of these are the byproducts, or results, fruits of our actions, right? Our daily work, our prescribed duties. So when we offer the results of these fruits, again, fruits again, I'm repeating here, money, knowledge, influence, all of that, knowing that the God is the ultimate enjoyer and controller, one achieves the real state of renunciation. In means in spirit, we should always be Krishna conscious, right? Your action doesn't change, your mentality changes. Your mentality is of a renunciant. Means you get some money, you understand you are grateful to Krishna for everything that you achieve in your life. And at any moment that you get the opportunity, you offer to Krishna in his service, right? Suddenly you get salary, you be grateful. Every time you have to be specifically, externally, uh, explicitly be grateful to God. That is how we develop renunciation. Otherwise we take it for granted. We think we are the enjoyer, right? This is the main lesson that Krishna wants Arjuna to take away from this discussion here. Hmm? So this is clarified in the verses 1 to 9. Yeah. So the next section, what is the word? Rungs, yoga ladder rungs. Rungs on the yoga ladder. All of us know about the yoga ladder. Actually, that yoga ladder that we describe in DYS class and all, they actually come from the 3rd chapter, verses 10 to 16. Yeah. To work without any selfish motivation is very advanced stage of self-realization. But can anybody and everybody get it right away there? Yeah, it's not possible. All of us have to make progress to that level where we we have no selfish motivation at all in whatever work we do. That is a very advanced stage. To get there, Krishna clarifies the pre-steps. What are the steps through which one advances to get there, where he has no selfish motivation in his activities or in his actions. Means completely renunciate. So that is described in these verses. What is the first level? Animalistic life, the lowest level. Where what is the interest of the jiva? Complete material enjoyment. He does not care anything. Is completely envious of everybody else. He does not, if somebody is having anything better, he becomes envious. He has no spiritual inclination, has no faith, very unregulated. He is ready to do anything for his enjoyment, right? And he can be a very civilized person or uncivilized person. Civilized means he might be very well educated materially, he might wear suit, boot, but look at his private life, very unregulated, very selfish, animalistic. You can see CEOs of many companies who are, you know, like Jeff Bezos and all. I don't want to name them, but we can see their private life is very horrible. But they look very civilized, educated, having running big companies, very rich, all of that. But unfortunately, their private life is material enjoyment is the sole interest. That is the lowest level of consciousness. Above that is where the jiva has a little bit of interest. A little bit of faith. Here, the first case is there is no faith at all in the scriptures or godly men, nothing. They have no faith in brahmanas or anything. So when there is a little faith in the scripture, but there is a relentless desire for enjoyment in this world, that is the level of karma kanda, right? Where one still desires materialistic enjoyment but now tries to achieve that via religious observances. Means his goal is very clear. His goal is to enjoy in this world. He has no other motivation, right? But he wants to achieve that through religious observance. He wants to follow the scriptures. He wants to follow, he wants to serve brahmanas and practice religious observances. And through religious means, one wants to achieve things in this world. But the motivation is complete materialistic enjoyment. Hmm? This is karma kanda.
Prabhuji,
Any questions? Yeah.
yeah, what do they mean by religious observances? Like,
For example, Vedas, right? Within our Vedas, there are many rituals, right? There is puja for Lord Shiva to get riches. There is puja to Parvati to get a very beautiful husband. There is puja for you achieving riches. Like there are so many rituals, Satyanarayana Vrata, this Vrata, that Vrata. There are so many Vratas to achieve whatever you want in this world. There are Vratas for rain. There are Vratas for getting a beautiful, getting a good child, male child, like that. So all of these are called rituals, religious observances. If you have a very good brahmana and he does the ritual, very pakka, this karma kanda gives 100% results. You will get. It may take time, but it will come. So this is called karma kanda. Means this person has elevated. So animalistic life means he has no faith at all. He is hard work. He is like animal. He uh, Okay, I'll give you another example to understand. Let me just go through a little more, and then I'll give you an example that clarifies exactly how these things will fit. Okay?
okay, Prabhuji, thank
Yeah.
you.
And then Sakama Karma Yoga is a little more advanced than Karma Kanda, where one realizes the futility of material enjoyment. So the first two levels, they are very much focused on materialistic enjoyment. Here is the first level when one understands the futility of material enjoyment, and they're still attached to their fruits, but they'll offer a portion of his results to God, okay, while still maintaining selfish motivation. He still has selfish motivation. He still keeps maximum for himself. He will give 2 coconuts to God and you know rest all the results to himself, right? So Sakama Karma Yoga, at least he acknowledges God, and he is on the path to Nishkama Karma Yoga, but he's not there yet. He's like many of our devotees. They understand the futility of material enjoyment. They understand they have to give up sense gratification, but still they are attached to their results that they get by the performance of their duties. So they won't be ready. They are not ready to fully give up. Okay, so that is Sakama Karma Yoga. Actually, 99% of us all fall in this. To be frank, Nishkama Karma Yoga, where one accepts only for the necessities he requires to maintain himself. And it's a stark distinction from Sakama to Nishkama Karma Yoga, and offers everything else to God. Okay, very advanced stage. This is in this stage. In this stage, actually, one fully breaks away from karmic implications and completely becomes peaceful and liberated. He is very happy devotee actually, Nishkama Karma Yogi. So these are the stages of devotion. Just to give an example, right? Suppose uh, government is supplying water to the villages. Okay, they have um, water department. They're supplying water to the villages in the town, and there are so villagers. What do they do if they want water to their village? They would pay some tax to the government, and part of the taxes government would use to lay a pipeline to the village and supply the water. That's the mechanism, right? In which the government bodies work, or the village body with the district board works. So this is a legal way of getting things done. Okay. So in this process, one can bribe uh, the city officials and get things done, right? That is more like karmakanda. Karmakanda means you bribe some demigod by paying something to him and get your work done. That is, it's it's not completely legal in one sense, but you pay tax, and to speed up things you pay some bribe also and get it done. Animalistic life is like, suppose there are dacoits between the two villages. There are two villages, they are both paying the taxes and getting pipeline laid to their villages, but between the two villages there is a forest. In that forest there are dacoits. The dacoits see that, hey, this pipeline is going from our village from this place to this place. Government actually requires us to pay taxes to get water. What if we can just make a hole and get water? We can see this, pipeline is going, and we can see how we can get water, right? So they make a hole in the pipeline and pull out the water, right? And they can get their water. So this is exactly animalistic life. Animalistic life means they observe how nature is working. This is exactly how scientists also operate in this world. Scientists, they don't have faith in God. They don't necessarily have faith in God. They know mechanisms of this world. Okay, rain comes this way, or seeds grow this way, and we can manipulate how the genome of the seed, and improve the system or improve the crop. Meddling with the nature, right? Meddling with nature is exactly animalistic life, because that's exactly what dacoits do here, right? Dacoits, what are they doing? They see that this pipeline is there, and what is their desire? They want water. How can they do it? They can make a punch a hole, pull the water. Nobody knows, right? They observed something, they exploited that. That's it. So science works, science gives you some results, but it is more or less actually exploitation of nature without understanding how the whole system is set up and how things are set up to work. Okay, that is animalistic life. That's the main. I think I hope that clarifies, Mataji. Now,
Yes, Prabhuji. Thank you so much.
Nishkama Karma Yoga means one pays the taxes and doesn't bother. He does not pay any bribe to get things done faster. He will wait until things fall in place automatically. Uh, you know, that's it. He just goes the right way. He's not going to take any shortcuts. Yeah. So rungs are discussed in the verses 10 to 16. Now, after understanding this, if suppose the natural question is, if suppose one achieves this perfection, he becomes a nishkama karma yogi and breaks free of all the bonds of materialistic life. He has no more material attachments. Okay, is it necessary for such a person to work in this world? Can they? So anyway, they have no attachment. They have no possessive desires to achieve anything in this world. Should they have no selfish motivation? Should they simply go and meditate on God? Is that Is that a better choice for them? Is the natural question for anybody who goes through this, who studies this, right? So that Krishna explains that even if a jiva becomes a perfect karma yogi, perfect nishkama karma yogi, without any desire to enjoy the positions of this world, he still has to work in this world to set a proper example for others to follow and to inspire them. So it is better for one to actually work, even though he has achieved perfection in karma yoga. So that's what Krishna wants. That's what is discussed in verses 17 to 35. Finally, after hearing all of this, the natural reaction of Arjuna is, okay, I am ready to work. I am ready to dedicate myself and enthusiastically want to serve you by becoming a Nishkama Karma Yoga. I want to do this fight and be renounced of the fruits. That's the spirit of Arjuna. But then he has a doubt. He gets a doubt, right? What is the doubt? In the performance of our duties, okay, all of us, when we are working in this world, there is some force within us that acts against my good intelligence and makes me act improperly in this world. Even though I understand, okay, what is the right course of action, there is something within me that makes me act improperly against my own good intelligence. What is it that, Krishna? Please clarify. There is something within me that is actually not making me act properly. And how do I curb that? Okay. So what is that? Any guesses? What would Krishna say?
Lust.
The lust.
Last, all of you know. Krishna explains the root cause of this phenomena is the eternal enemy of this aspiring spiritualist, which is lust. Actually, all of us originally belong to the spiritual world where the inherent quality is actually love. We always wanted to selflessly serve without any personal agenda, just like a Nishkam Karma Yogi. But unfortunately, when we enter this material world, when we descend to this material world, our pure love perverts into lust. And that makes one to ceaselessly try to enjoy in this world in a self-centered way, without cares for the others, without any care for others. The lust is the real enemy. We don't have enemies outside. We have enemies only inside of us. What is our enemy's name? Lust. Lust is the root cause of all the other anarthas also. What are all the anarthas that we have in our heart? Anybody?
Anger, greed,
Anger,
greed,
greed,
envy,
envy,
kama, krodha,
lobha,
lobha,
madhumatsarya.
madhumatsarya.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Greed, envy, false prestige, pride,
Right, yeah.
anger, right? So these are all the enemies. But the root enemy is actually lust. Lust means strong desire to achieve something, right? Like irresistible desire to achieve something. And it makes us to gratify ourselves immediately and does not look for the long-term benefit. When one becomes lusty, right? What happens? If his desires are not fulfilled, what happens to him? He
Gets
becomes frustrated and angry, right? So anger is actually a result of lust. I'm just relating how all the anarthas are actually rooted in lust. Suppose he gets it. He wanted something. He gets it. Is he happy?
He wants more.
Yeah. Actually, Radhesham Prabhu nicely explained today only all these, how lust is the root cause of all the anarthas. And so he becomes greedy. He wants more and more. Just like, in a college, right? If somebody gets first rank, he always wants to maintain that rank. It becomes a obligation for him. So he becomes greedy. Okay. Then what happens? He becomes greedy and tries more and tries to maintain what he has. Lust led to anger or greedy. Hmm? And if he sees somebody else has more than what he has suddenly, what happens to him?
Envy.
Yeah. And then he becomes envious. And if he sees somebody who doesn't have it, what he has?
Pride.
Pride. He thinks he's proud. So everything is so related, isn't it? So lust is the root cause. Lust means what? Opposite of love. Selfish enjoyment propensity.
Prabhuji, I have a doubt. Maybe I didn't understand it enough. Isn't like the greed the first feeling that he gets, like I should get, the top, whatever, the rank or something like that, and then it becomes anger, envy, and all that stuff? How come lust comes first before anything else?
My understanding is lust is the natural reaction, or the coverings of the soul makes it lust, because the pure characteristics of a pure soul is love, right? The opposite of love is lust. Opposite of love is not greed. So that is the root problem that is within the heart. That would manifest in all these other anarthas, right?
Okay.
Yeah, there
So,
is no. The only opposite for love is lust. There is not. It's not. It's not envy. It's not any of these other things.
so because it is a desire that is not in relation with Krishna, that's why we call it lust here.
Yes,
And
because of his forgetfulness, he develops this lust. He forgot Krishna, avidya kama karmasu, right? Avidya leads to one to lust, kama, lust, because he forgot his relationship with Krishna. The jiva, when he's in the material world, he forgot his relationship with Krishna. So naturally, he becomes very lusty. Because then, what is the nature of this jiva? Ananda,
Sachit.
Anandamayo Bhyasat, right? Soul, yeah, or Sachidananda, Sachidananda also we can say. Sachitananda.
but is
Anandamayo
our,
Bhyasat, the jiva is always pleasure seeking. Now it forgot Krishna. The highest pleasure is in relation with Krishna. But when it forgot Krishna because of its covering in the material world, because that's what he desired, he wanted to enjoy independent of God. So Krishna covered his knowledge aspect. Now he seeks that happiness in this world. So that love towards Krishna has turned as lust towards material things in this world. He wants that same possessiveness that he had towards Krishna. Now he had this like a like a what do you call it? Like a big AK-47 gun that he was shooting there. Now he has to shoot something down, in the material world. He has that force. He has to apply it somewhere.
Prabhuji,
Mm-hmm.
Prabhuji, lusty may not be exactly the opposite love, but it could be towards the lusty towards the material things also, right?
Yeah. That's what lust does not mean. Uh, opposite sex. Okay.
Yeah.
Lust means irresistible desire to achieve anything material in this world.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Prabhuji, Krishna's body is only Sachidananda, right? The soul is
Correct.
not Sachidananda. I mean, the Jiva is not Sachidananda, right?
Yeah. Soul is Sachidananda, though.
The Jiva is also Sachidananda, right?
Yeah, Satchid Ananda, the same characteristics in minute quantity.
Prabhu, can
Yeah, quality wise a minute particle, but quantity wise it's different.
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah.
Prabhu, can we consider
Quantity-wise.
lust is equal to love for material desire?
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
love in the spiritual world is love for Krishna,
Correct.
but love in material world is actually lust.
Actually, lust. Actually, if you the so-called love stories, right, that we hear in movies and all, actually it is not love. It is lust because it started with attraction to the physical body, isn't it? How a boy and girl will be attracted to each other.
Right?
So
It
that's
can
it.
be human to human, or it can be human to material, or
Yeah, it could be to car to become CEO or whatever.
Right.
It is actually lust. Uh, on the other hand, if you see a mother's love to her child, there is no selfishness there. And mother is ready to sacrifice herself, isn't it? So that's why the only closest example to true love in the material world is like the mother's love to her child. There is nothing really, or a pure devotee's love towards Krishna, or even practicing devotees, as they develop their love. That is the true love. Otherwise, there is no true love in this world. There is no true love story at all in this material world. All these are all actually stories of lust only. So that covers the actually thematic division of this chapter.
So, Prabhuji, one more clarification. So
Mhm.
can we understand that lust is basically the strong desire to satisfy our own senses, both
Yeah, yeah,
both subtle and gross, right?
correct. Yeah. It's 4:15. If there are any questions, we'll discuss. We can discuss the actual division of slokas in the next class. The same like last week, we did 2 classes for chapter 2. One is to understand the overall theme, tree. So what does tree stand for? Can each of you understand? Not one should not say everything. What is T for? One of you can say.
Tyaga.
Tyaga. Okay. Sorry. Yeah. Okay. What is R for?
Rungs.
Ranks of the ladder.
Rungs of the ladder.
Iyante.
What are the 4? Okay, hold on. What are the rungs now? Another person should say.
Karma Kanda.
First, what is the first one?
Sorry, Karma Yoga, animalistic life.
Animalistic life. Yes. Yeah. Now somebody else.
Karma Kanda.
Karma Kanda. Second. What is the third?
Nishkama Karma Kanda.
Sakama Karma.
Sakama Karma Kanda. Okay. And then Nishkama.
Sakama ke after Sakama is Nishkama Karma.
Yeah.
Karma.
No. Sakama Karma Yoga. Because
Yoga. Yeah, sorry.
why is it called yoga? Sakama Karma Yoga. What
It is in relation with the Lord, not for our.
Yeah,
not
that
for
is
our
true.
Mhm.
But what is the real? What is the primary difference between a Karma Kandi and a Sakama Karma Yogi?
Karma Kandi is somebody who does everything for. I mean, they have full and full materialistic. I mean, they are for materialistic enjoyment,
Yes.
and they very little they follow those religious rituals.
They follow religious rituals to get anything. They're
Yeah.
not trying like like the dacoits I was telling, right? Karmakanda means they bribe demigods to get whatever they want. They want,
Right.
but their main motivation is materialistic enjoyment. They want things in this world. They
Right.
are here for enjoying. Yes.
Yeah, but Nishkama Karma Yoga is totally, they keep only minimal things for themselves and give
Yeah,
away.
Nishkama is advanced. Forget about them. What is Sakama Karma Yoga? What is the main differentiation from Karma Kandi to Sakama Karma Yogi? Because that's exactly where we all fall. That's why I want to.
We offer, I mean, our little bit of our fruits we offer to the Lord, like our,
the main difference is
Prabhuji,
Sakama.
can I go ahead?
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, the main difference between the Karma Kanda and Sakama Karma Yoga. In Karma Kanda, it's completely materialistic, using ritualistic activities. But in Sakama Karma Yoga, he's spending some results to the Lord. That means he's thinking his mind on Krishna, not completely.
Right.
Prabhuji, can I tell?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Go ahead, Prabhuji.
Done. Yeah, that is true. Sridhar Gopal Prabhu. Yeah. Mataji.
So
Jai Shri.
basically, we understand that material enjoyment is not good for us, and we understand that there is a higher purpose for our activity.
Exactly.
But
This is the answer I was looking for. He clearly understands futility of material enjoyment. His heart, in his heart, he understands material enjoyment is not the way. It's going to result in frustration. He is very clear of that. But he is not purified. That
not
is the problem he has. So he is still progressing slowly towards that. So he started slowly giving a portion of his result to Krishna. But he is not there because just because I have knowledge doesn't mean I become a realized person. I need to practice yoga. I need to practice chanting, serving. Over a period of time, I purify myself to become a Nishkama Karma Yoga. But until then, this period, right, I will still be a Sakama Karma Yogi. Yeah? So his heart is clear. He has the knowledge that I cannot be the enjoyer and controller in this world. Okay, his knowledge is clear, but he's like a person in two boats, right? With two legs in two boats. He understands, but he cannot act on that platform, on the pure devotion service platform, or or pure karma yoga platform. So it's a transition. It's a what do you call transition, transitory stage, sakama karma yoga. But because it's called yoga, because he clearly, his understanding is perfect, his action is not perfect. Okay, so this is a very key understanding to have, because most of us actually fall in this. We are still sakama karma yogis, right?
Hare
Yeah.
Krishna.
Hmm?
Prabhu, what is the difference between Nishkama Karma Yoga and Sthita Prajna?
Sthita prajna is nishkama karma yogi actually. Yeah, he is completely renounced, fully fixed up. And a completely advanced spiritualist is nishkama karma yogi. Okay, but he is also renounced. He may renounce his actions also. Nishkama karma yogi performs actions to set good example in this world. And yeah, Sthita doesn't need to. That's why the verses in they talk like that. If he performs work, he performs in a renounced spirit. He's a perfect yogi. Okay, he's joyful fully. Okay, what is ye for? Third ye.
Exemplary. Exemplary.
Example, setting a good example, isn't it? What did we discuss? Anybody else?
Prabhuji, sorry to interrupt. Before that, I just wanted to understand a little bit by the term. When we say nishkama, we can split it into like nish plus kama, like without
Correct.
kama, and then that is
Yes.
fine. Sakama, how do we understand like sakama?
Sakama means the same. Nish means no kama.
Yeah.
Sakama means he still has some kama, even though it is yoga towards the end, right? Sakama karma yoga. Okay, so he still has the, he is only offering portion of his results. He still has, he still has some karma.
Okay. Thank you.
Still wants to enjoy results. He's not fully renounced in his heart. He is in the process. He is a yogi in preparation, right? Yoga Ruda, Yoga Rirukshu, two stages, right? In any yoga practice, there is a lower rung where he is a practicing yogi, and there is a perfectional stage, where one is Yoga Rirukshu stage and Yoga Ruda stage. So like that, Sakama Karma Yogi and Nishkama Karma Yogi. Sakama Karma Yogi is a yogi in preparation. Nishkama Karma Yogi is a yogi that has perfected his Karma Yoga. Okay, E for exemplary. Even if a jiva becomes a perfect self-realized soul, what does he have to do? He still has to what? Anybody? He still has to work in this world to set a good example for others. So he should not. It's better for a yogi to actually continue to work instead of giving up his work. Right? Is that right? And what is the last E for? I can't hear it.
Enemy.
Yeah, what is the enemy?
Lust.
Enemy of the soul, lust.
Yeah, enemy of the soul is lust. Yes. Lust would lead to what are the other things? Anybody else other than Daivi Radhika Mataji, please?
Anger or greed. Lust will lead to either anger or greed.
Anger or greed.
Anger or greed. And what else?
Pride, false prestige.
Pride, false prestige. Yes, yeah. Yeah, so I think we all got the message, overall thing, right? Okay, we can end the class here. It's 4:30.
But Prabhuji, when you say like tree, and it seems very easy to understand the Karma Yoga, but when you read Bhagavad Gita, there are so many things that's given. It's very, the takeaway is very difficult, I felt, when reading chapter 3.
Exactly. We need both understandings. It takes a little bit of effort to actually read and assimilate the message. This will give us the way I'm telling it's a very simplistic way to understand this, but this gives us confidence on the overall thing. This is very important because when we go out and talk to people, these are the concepts we need to talk. What is true renunciation? It's not renunciation of the work. It is the renunciation of the desire to be the enjoyer and the controller, right? So these are the concepts, right? And from our understanding perspective, these are if you get these parts, you have understood Bhagavad Gita actually. It's not about the intricacies of Sanskrit versus some people focus on those too much. That's not going to stick in your head. A lot of you hear, appreciate, but you don't really retain anything of that. Right? We hear so many lectures. How this is the way you try to remember. At least you get an overview, right? And then it gives you, now you have an overview, you can go and focus on certain areas that gives you higher degree of understanding. So next week we'll discuss themes. Themes are also not very very easy actually in third chapter. Second chapter is very tough actually. There are a lot of concepts discussed. Even Arjuna gets confused, so it's not very surprising that we get confused if we read second chapter all together in one class. Okay.
Thank you so much, Prabhuji. This is super helpful, this format.
Yeah. All glories to the devotees who worked on this. Actually, Radhesham Prabhu helped me preparing this material. This particular tree, right? So there is one Gita acronyms book that actually gives this understanding to to get an overview of the chapter. I'm going through all the materials that I was given by, I was helped by now Radhesham Prabhu, Chaitanya Chandra Prabhu, and Bal Govind Prabhu. All of these devotees have sent me messages recently, and I'm putting them all together and trying to make some khichdi out of all of that.
And it is so easy for us, and we are taking all the cream of it. Thank you so much, Prabhu.
Prabhu, it is not one nectar, it's multiple nectars.
Condensed heat.
Correct.
It's also helping me because I'm going through all these audios and material reading. It's helping me actually. Thank you all for inspiring us to read through this kind of study. But nothing to my credit. All of this is there within the devotees materials. Okay, so we'll end the class here. Thank you all.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Thank you.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Bol. Jai.
Hare Krishna.
Yeah.
Anybody on the format?
Haribol Prabhu.